Good evening. The Guard of Honour for shark attack victim Steven Mattaboni resembled a state funeral as he was farewelled by hundreds of family and friends at Optus Stadium today.
The father of two's life was celebrated, remembered as a devoted husband, loving dad and loyal friend.
Clutching her 4-month-old child, Steven Mattaboni followed her husband's hearse. As his favourite song played out, hundreds stood in a guard of honour to farewell and celebrate Steven Mattaboni. Matters to his mates, who today led the procession, one of which carrying Steven's eldest daughter. She'll celebrate her 3rd birthday in 2 weeks without her dad. Loved ones today remembering Steven as one of a kind and a bright light. Steven lived and breathed the ocean. 3 weeks ago, it cost him his life. This was a service filled with tears and laughter as Steven's friends and family shared their favourite memories and moments. His coffin was adorned with 2 red heart balloons, one for each of his little girls.
His legacy will live on through his 2 beautiful daughters. Steve would absolutely want us to continue enjoying the ocean the way that he did, but also encouraging his beautiful girls to enjoy the water like he did as well.
Today's funeral even more heartbreaking as another family endures a grief that's hard to imagine. Daniel Turpin was spearfishing off Albany when he was also taken by a shark just 3 days ago. Steven Mattaboni was just 38 years old, his legacy measured by the many lives he touched. Francesca Denuccio, 7 News.
A Gosnell's grandmother has lost everything she's ever worked for in a brazen heist that's left her devastated.
B. Scott had been secretly saving a small fortune, but it's all gone. Thieves broke into her home, making off with a locked safe.
B. Scott's independence has been shattered.
How would they like it to happen to their mother or their grandmother or their wife?
While the grandmother was at work, thieves forced their way into her Gosnell's home, rifled through her bedroom, stealing a safe with her life savings inside.
I feel like what's the point in going on?
$200,000 in cash and $150,000 in gold jewellery gone. It's a lot of money, but it's everything she had.
Not only did they take Mum of her life savings, because Mum's very frugal, she was working at the time, she was cleaning houses. They've destroyed her security in living independently on her own. So they've robbed her of everything.
They even took her hearing aids.
All I keep thinking is, well, I haven't got maybe long few years anyway, and what the hell are they going to be like?
B, who is in her 80s, now too frightened to leave her home of more than 30 years.
It's been nearly 2 weeks since the brazen robbery, but police are no closer to catching the thugs responsible. Today, admitting they need the public's help to be on the lookout for the sale of this stolen jewellery.
We're doing everything we can to solve this and hold those responsible accountable for their actions.
Totally and utterly destroyed me as a human being. I don't have nothing to feel secure about anymore.
Rachel Tassica, 7 News.
A state Liberal MP is under fire over disparaging comments about WA's Deputy Premier and Treasurer Rita Saffioti. In an online post, the member for Nedlands Jonathan Huston agreed Ms Saffioti might be affected by drugs during a parliamentary sitting.
Jonathan Huston is a former Army intelligence officer who should have been smarter interacting on the internet. During a recent parliamentary session, Mr Huston claimed the government's housing lender Keystart, overseen by Ms Saffioti, was profiting off young borrowers. He later posted that claim online. A follower responded, "Idiot woman, can't even understand grade 2 maths." That Saffioti is an idiot and doesn't understand grade 2 maths?
That's comments other people, not from me.
No, you like that.
It's people from other people, not from me. But you
posted like.
Well, then I need to unlike it.
Another responder posted, "Is she on drugs or something?" Mr Huston replied, "I agree." Do you think she's a drug user?
No.
You don't? But one of your supporters...
Well, that's what they write.
But you said you agreed.
No, she's not agreed.
Huston's cavalier attitude to the internet became an immediate problem for his leader. Mr Huston grinned from his seat in the chamber while Basil Zempilas sat stony-faced, bearing the brunt of a predictable response by government ministers.
A party that continues to to tolerate, facilitate and support the demeaning of women in politics.
That is misogynistic. It is derogatory. It is disgusting. And we see no leadership by the Liberal leader.
Basil Zempilas says he's spoken to Jonathan Huston but declined to say whether he's reprimanded him. Mr Zempilas also said he has no plans to meet with Pauline Hanson when she arrives in Perth tomorrow for a round of public engagements. That's despite declaring yesterday his willingness to cooperate with One Nation to topple Labor.
The Greens will be there protesting outside Pauline Hanson's event tomorrow because we think it's important to call out the racism.
Jeff Parry, 7 News.
If recent polling wasn't enough of a boost, Pauline Hanson may find herself the winner of a finger-pointing contest she's not even competing in. Labor and the Liberals are blaming each other for One Nation's surge in support as voters ditch the major parties.
Labor's senior power broker confident Labor's power won't be broken by One Nation.
Populist parties in this country come and go, they rise and they fall. I don't think Labor has anything to fear from One Nation.
Taking a bath in the polls, Coalition leader Angus Taylor blames Labor's budget for One Nation's latest rise. Broken promises, he says, leaving voters angry.
They've had a gutful. You know, they're swinging the bat, and I don't blame them.
But Labor does blame Coalition division for One Nation's poll surge accelerated by the fallout from the Bondi massacre. Luring away Conservative voters, Angus Taylor's now trying to win back to put his parties on the up.
I'll tell you what's going up. Immigration, inflation, interest rates and taxes.
The problem for Angus Taylor is that if he tries to out One Nation, then they become indistinguishable.
Former Prime Minister and new Liberal Party President Tony Abbott says he'll embark on a national listening tour to hear what the Liberal membership wants, offering to help Angus Taylor reconnect. Mr Taylor confirming he would do a deal with One Nation to form government if necessary or even possible.
Well, we'll work with others to get rid of a rotten Labor government.
3 right-wing parties, all with a very common agenda.
To take Labor out of the picture. And tonight, the Bank of America is joining a growing list of institutions warning house prices could dive by as much as 8% because of the budget's negative gearing and capital gains tax changes, although with small rises in some markets. Good news for the 150,000 first home buyers trying to get into the market, but not the 7 million home owners who could see the assumed value of their major assets suddenly plummet. The government's solution to one political problem? Possibly creating an even bigger one. Ange?